Hello, hello, and thanks for tuning in. So I had a lot of idle time ahead of me because I'll be going back to Germany next year in May. So I wanted to keep myself sane and get out of the house. And I was looking for something to occupy myself with over the next several months. And I wanted to see if I could find something within the motorcycling industry. But being that it's winter, there really isn't much going on. But I happened to come across this one courier company. It's called Postmates. And if you're not familiar with them, I would highly recommend checking them out. They are on Facebook, and you can also find their website. It's postmates.com. Now, the premise of Postmates is to provide a delivery service in under an hour. So it's really connecting the merchant and the consumer within a city by providing the pickup and delivery service. And I mean, it can be really anything that they do. The only thing that is not delivered or picked up is anything to do with tobacco, alcohol, or anything drug related or anything like that. So those things, no. But other than that, it's an on-demand delivery service from every restaurant or store within the city that Postmates operates. So whether it be getting lunch, groceries, office supplies, I've had it where I've done runs for dentists, for optometrists, so you name it, they provide that delivery, pickup and delivery service for you. And if you want to find out whether or not they operate within the city that you live in, go check them out. It's an on-demand service. They have an app which you can download, and it's a wonderful service that's provided by Postmates. So this video has nothing to do with Postmates, the company. Really what I am going to be talking about here is from the viewpoint of the courier. And I will start by saying my hat's off to all those men and women out there working as couriers, because there's a lot of things that you have to deal with when you're out there in the field. So I'm just basically going to be doing a video about what my experience has been with Postmates and working as a courier for them within the city of Seattle. And I cannot talk about other cities because I haven't experienced it, but my guess is it's more or less the same as what it is in Seattle. And I've broken it down. I've done 10 days with Postmates right now, and kind of just giving my review on my experiences over these 10 days. Where to begin? Let me start by earning potential. Okay, let's see earning potential. Let me start over there. When I joined them, their whole thing was that you can earn $20 to $30 an hour. Okay, now mind you, you work as a subcontractor for them, so whatever mode of transport that you may choose is up to you. Whether you have a bicycle, motorcycle, car, truck, whatever you have at your disposal to make any kind of pickup and deliveries, as long as the vehicle is licensed and insured and everything like that, it really doesn't matter what your preferred mode of transport is. You work as a subcontractor for them. That means that all expenses fall on you. So any kind of maintenance, any gas, any insurances that need to be paid, everything basically falls on you. So the $20 to $30 an hour is justified, for the responsibility that you have as a subcontractor doing this work. So I wanted to find something that I could still do that was on a motorcycle, doing something around motorcycles. Motorcycle industry is really slow at this point because it is the winter, and I just need to keep myself active until I go back to Germany and continue with Tour Riders International. So it got me excited, and I'm still working with Postmates, but this is just my review on the circumstances. It's always different on paper than it is in reality out there in the field. And this is just my experience of having been out there in the field and what the courier faces on a daily basis. So I've basically broken it down, and I want to start off by saying that Postmates is available to the customer and the merchant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you as a courier choose to work 24 hours a day for them, you can definitely do that. So 10 days that I've worked for them, I chose my times and my days to be Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So basically 7-hour days. Over the 10-day period that it has equaled to 70 hours. So I've broken it down into commissions and tips. And what I found is that the tips equals to 50% of your earning potential that you can achieve per hour. Okay? So my commission over those 10 days, working 70 hours, comes to $493.10. So that gives me an hourly income of $7.04. Now, with the generosity of the tips that's provided by the customer, dividing it into an hourly, it comes to $3.40 an hour. So if I combine the two, my commission and tips, I have an earning potential, a gross earning potential of $10.44 an hour. Now I mentioned gross because, and I don't think this is any different if you're on a bicycle, because when you're riding a motorcycle or a car, you can get to your destinations a lot faster than when you're on a bicycle. Okay, it all depends on the distances, but what I've found is that the distances, not every delivery is really close. So, there are some distances that need to be covered in order to make that pickup or delivery. It depends on where you are, where you happen to be in the city, on the distances that you need to cover. So the number that I'm going to the end result number that I'm going to be coming up with, I don't think is any different when you're on a bicycle. So anyway, I worked it out, my gas costs, also got that onto an hourly, worked it out to an hourly rate. That comes to $1 an hour. So that takes my $10.44 down to $9.44. And then because we're working in the city, we have the parking costs to contend with as well. So it depends where you also work in the city, but seeing we're all over the city, the costs can vary anywhere from $1 an hour up to $4.50 to $5 an hour. It all depends on which part of the city you're in. So I took it down to the bare minimum, saying, okay, fine, we'll average $2 an hour for that. So $1 for pickup, $1 for delivery. So if you take $2 an hour, deduct that from now your $9.44, because you have your gas costs, you're looking at $77.44 an hour as your net That doesn't include wear and tear, insurance on your vehicle, anything like that. It's just gas and parking, okay? Comes to $7.44 an hour. Now what I did was, because of the expense for the parking, you as a courier start to take on the risk of not paying for parking. So you're basically gambling at that point on whether you should pay for parking, because the money you're going to be making on that particular run does not outweigh the cost for paying for parking. So you say, okay, fine, I'll take a chance, not pay for parking over here, and possibly run the risk of getting a ticket, which unfortunately happened to me. I took that risk, came out, there was a ticket there, and it was $47. Okay, so these are some of the things that you run into when you're out there in the field. And the parking situation at this point, nothing changes. It's just something that you have to deal with. And I'm going to be doing a completely different video regarding parking and how cities view motorcyclists, and the laws have to be changed. I mean, they don't make sense. It's ridiculous, but we have to have a stronger partnership with manufacturers of motorcyclists, motorcycle dealerships, and all that kind of stuff to get these laws changed, because they make absolutely no sense whatsoever. But that's a completely different thing, and I'm not going to get into it at this point. So basically, we're looking at $7.44 an hour. Now, I'm not saying that at times you make more money, and there are times that you can make more than $7.44 an hour, and there are times that you make way less than $7.44 an hour. Okay, but you're working it out over averages. And the reason why I'm pointing out averages is I was watching a documentary in Germany when I was there on taxi drivers and their life. And they're really married to their job. They have to put in at least 12-hour days, if not more, to make any kind of living. Okay? And it's no different when working as a courier. You have to be willing to put in 12 to 15 hours a day in order to make any kind of income. Because if you can't put in a certain amount of time, that $7.44 an hour could even be less than that. And case in point, I did one just yesterday. I just went on the platform for 2 hours. Okay. In those 2 hours, there were 2 jobs that came through, one right after the other. So within a period of 4 minutes, these were the 2 jobs that came over, and no other jobs came over in that 2-hour period. Those were the only 2 runs that were available. So the first one that came through, I did not accept, because there's a certain, how do I explain it? You have to outweigh the risks, and I knew that where the pickup was for this particular job, parking was a problem. And was I going to take on the risk of getting a ticket for a $5 run of $47? No, I don't think I was going to do that. And the run, the amount that I was going to get for that run was too small for me to, I would have had to take the chance of not paying for parking in order to make any kind of money. And I'm glad I didn't take on the job, because another one did come through where I didn't have to worry about parking, okay? And the risk level wasn't there. I just had to, I could go to an establishment where I didn't have to worry about parking. that wasn't an issue, and the drop-off, there wasn't an issue either. So I went out and did that. So that was a run that I accepted. Now, for those 2 hours that I was out there, on this particular run, I got a commission of $4.10, and my tip was $1. So the total payout was $5.10 for me being out there those 2 hours. Okay. Now you have to work on averages, meaning that you never know when you have really busy times and when you have slow times, because I was out on the platform from 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now that is normally a busy time, and you had two quick consecutive runs, but then for the rest of the time there was absolutely nothing, and I wouldn't have been able to do those 2 runs anyway. You know, so even though those 2 runs came over, I wouldn't have been able to have done both. I would have only been able to do one or the other. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get across. So you have to be willing in order to make any kind of living on this, and that's why my hat goes off to these guys, because they have to be out there at least 12 to 14 hours a day in order to make some kind of a living. Okay. Case in point, that one day where I got the $47 in a parking violation, I only made on commissions $16.60, and my tips for that particular day were $10.05. So I made I got a total payout for that day of $26.65. Okay, so that didn't even cover the cost for the ticket that I received of $47. Now I will mention on that day I did sign off earlier then, because I put myself on the platform from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock. But it was such a slow day. I finished one run, it was done by 11:45. I didn't receive any other order or anything over the platform for the 2.5 hours that I was out there. And then at 2:15, it was a whole day. I was out there just sitting around. Being on a motorcycle is also not easy, because it's not like when you're on a bicycle. A bicycle, you can park anywhere, you can put your bicycle anywhere. So if you need to stay warm, you can just find a restaurant, or go into a store somewhere, what have you. Just put your bicycle outside, lock it up, and go inside and keep yourself warm, or keep yourself out of the rain. Now when you're on a motorcycle, you don't have that luxury. Basically, if I were to park somewhere, because of the parking situations, as soon as I leave my motorcycle, if I were to just get off my motorcycle, go into a store, go into a restaurant to stay warm or to stay out of the rain, and a parking maid or meter maid comes by, even though I run out, they don't want to hear that. They think, oh, you've been parking there. You're not, because I'm sure they've heard every excuse under the sun. So I don't have the luxury of getting off my motorcycle, running inside somewhere and keeping myself out of the rain and keeping myself warm until the next dispatch comes through. So I'm out there sitting on my motorcycle for that period of time, and I was really, after 2.5 hours, so cold, I didn't see any way that it was going to get any better, so I got off the platform a little earlier. Okay, so my total payout was $26.65, but the next day I was on the platform, and again, it wasn't a particularly busy day at all. And my total payout, including tips, now my commission was $28.30 and my tips were $20.67. So my total payout for that day was $48.97. So the next day at least covered the cost of my ticket, but other than that, I really didn't make an income. So you have to be willing to be out there on the platform for a good period of time in order to make any kind of money. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a big turnover rate. My guess is they're constantly looking for new couriers on a daily and weekly basis, because when you really crunch the numbers and break the numbers down, your earning potential isn't anywhere close to the $20 to $30 an hour. You have to put yourself on the platform for hours, like I said, because you never know when that busy time is. And then you run into all other kind of complications, if everything, on paper, you accept so many jobs, you do so many runs, on paper, yes, it all looks good. But out in the real world, it isn't quite like that, When I'm, they say, oh, Misha, take on more jobs, that'll increase your daily pay, or your hourly pay. Yeah, but if the jobs aren't available, how's that increasing my hourly pay? If I'm not out there 12 to 15 hours a day, how's that increasing my hourly pay? If I happen to be, if there are jobs out there and I happen to be on a run, or I'm busy doing on a run, I'm sitting on my motorcycle and a job comes through. Now, you have 30 seconds within which to review that job and to decide whether you want to accept or reject that particular job that comes through. So, you're riding on your motorcycle. First of all, you don't have the opportunity to be able to even look or review at that job, so that job is already gone. So there you go. So, okay, fine, I lost that one. Or you just started a job where you're running on a pickup. You may be on your motorcycle, going to the place of pickup. Another job order comes through, if it happens to be the busy time that they're talking about. A job comes through again, you're on your motorcycle, there's no way you can even review or look at the job, because it isn't, the job that comes through isn't specific for you, it's just put out there. And I don't think that every job that comes through is put out there for everybody. I think it's selective, that they put those jobs out there, but it's not specifically for you. It might be you and 5 others that they throw the job out to. Okay, and the first one to accept it basically gets that job. So these guys might be in a situation where they are ready to accept that particular job and can push accept. But if you happen to find yourself riding, if you happen to find yourself inside a restaurant, for instance, and many a times customer service, because you have to be able to get in and out of that establishment within at least 8 minutes. So you can get the run going, so you can get going again, so you can be ready to accept the next job that comes through. If you're not able to do that, you want to complete, that's the whole premise of Postmates, is to complete your job within an hour, okay, to do the pickup and delivery within an hour. So if you can't get in and out within 8 minutes to do a pickup, to do the run, to complete the run, you can't be out there fast enough to accept the next job, okay? It's happened to me a few times actually, where, customer service has tried to order in advance. What the customer was requesting is not available. So now it's a matter of going back and forth, trying to find out what exactly it is now that replaces the particular item that the customer was looking for. So time is just passing by, and your earnings potential is just getting less and less and less, because you'll be there waiting for 30 or 40 minutes before you can even get the order for delivery, okay? So that's done. If, for instance, you can't, if the order isn't placed by customer service and you now have to get to the establishment to place the order, then, so the time that's wasted by you riding to the establishment, now placing the order at the establishment and having to wait 30 minutes for that order before you can now deliver it. So all that riding time, where that particular item, if customer service was able to order it for you, that at least the wait time is reduced. But if you have to now place the order yourself, okay, fine. So all these different little things come into account. So even though there's new jobs coming through, how can you accept them full well knowing that you have to complete that delivery within an hour when you know that you're going to be another half an hour just waiting for the particular product for delivery? How can you accept a new job knowing full well you're never going to be able to complete it within an hour that's specified? You know, I've had jobs come through where I'm busy placing the order and jobs come through, so how can I be placing an order and accepting another job? Impossible. What else? I've gone to unfortunately, and it's you know, these are things that just happen. It's not a criticism or anything. It's just things, you know, as I was saying, happen. You know, shit happens, but you have to take everything into account as a whole. And I don't see where you can accept more jobs because there are just so many different obstacles that you have to overcome. You know. Wrong address is given to you, so you'll be standing at a house or an establishment, you know, and it's the wrong address. Now you have to try and find the right address in order to do the delivery. So if there's any new jobs coming through at that point, you're reluctant to take them because you don't know when you're going to be able to finish on the run that you're doing right now. You know, so there's so many scenarios. Where on paper, yeah, it all looks good, but in reality, it isn't possible. So that's basically my take on all of this. You know, they, as a company, again, this has nothing to do with Postmates as a company. They're top notch. The whole operation, the way it's run for the customer is again top notch. This is just my experience being out there as a courier for them and what your earnings potential is and the obstacles that you need to overcome. But the $20 to $30 an hour just isn't there. So so yeah, that's basically it. And I will be doing a video specifically just on the parking situations within these cities, especially Seattle. So please look out for another video on that. But again, my hat's off to all those guys that work as couriers out there. It isn't easy. You know, you have to put up with a whole bunch of stuff to try and make a living. So until my next video, I thank you for watching. Keep your side stand, or as we say in America, your kickstand up and the rubber side down. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.